Hi students, in this video we are going to see about views and integrity constraints in SQL. Let us recall the points which we have discussed in the previous class. So we have seen about the different set operations like union, union all, intersect and except. Also we have seen the different aggregate functions like minimum, maximum, count, total, etc. and we have seen about the group by functions as well. And last we have seen about the different join operations like inner join and outer join. In inner join we have seen about the equal join, cross join, Cartesian join, then self join. In outer join we have seen about left outer join, right outer join and full outer join. So let us see what is a view. So we are going to see about views in SQL. Now I have displayed two pictures on the screen. So on seeing this picture, what you can infer? So both the pictures are a viewpoint of a geographical location. So normally whenever you visit a tourism place, we are very interested in finding some viewpoint locations. Why? Because it gives us an appeal to the eyes. Of course, we can go to the geographical location directly and view the places. But viewing from a telescope on a different angle is something different. It gives us a good understanding and a better view of the place. We can easily find the beauty of the places. Am I right? So, you can see from both the pictures, one is a viewpoint in the top of the mountain and another one is the road map of a hill station. So, when we are traveling in the mountain, we can see only certain places. So, during a travel it is not possible to see all places. But when we see it from a different angle in a telescope, we can easily see how many hairpin bends are there in that hill station and how is there any rivers or falls in that location. So in general, what I am trying to say is a view means it is a display which gives a good appeal to the eyes for a better understanding. So this is a general meaning. The other way is also there, that is like view means inspecting something or take a look at it. We can say view like that also. So this is a general meaning for view. When we are coming to the subject point of view, so we are dealing with structured query language in database management system, right? So in databases, the data are stored in different tables. So there are different levels of abstraction of data. First, if you take the physical level, in the physical level, we will be dealing with the storing of data in different tables in different form. Then conceptual level means that is it is a understandable level, logical view of the data. But these levels are not needed by a common user. So if a user wants some information from the database, it is not possible for him to see all the tables which are present in the database. It will not give the needed information for him also. He wants only a certain information from the database. So what we are doing is we are going to select the particular attributes from the database tables and we are going to present it to the user in an understandable form in a customizable way. So this is how we can make the user to understand and give him what he is actually needed. That is why we are going for the view. So a view provides a mechanism to hide certain data from the view of certain users. So we are hiding the details from the user and we are providing only the essential information to the user. It is also called as a virtual table. Virtual means an imaginary table. We can create a view by using the select statement from SQL. So selecting fields from one or more tables which are present in the database, and a view can contain either all the rows of the table which we have selected or only a few rows which is based on the condition. Now you can see the anatomy of a view. There are two tables. Now when I apply a view concept to the two tables, I am going to select only the attributes which I am interested in. So there are totally 8 tables including both the 8 attributes including both the tables. So 4 attributes in table 1 and 4 attributes in table 2. So here you can see I am interested in selecting the first attribute, second attribute from table 2. Then I am going to the table 1, I am selecting the green attribute and then the orange attribute and then the dark blue attribute. So even though there are many attributes or many columns in both the tables, I am selecting only my essential attributes from the table. I am presenting it in a different table called view. So this is a view which is created from table 1 and table 2. So this is what view looks like. Okay, let us see with the example. There are 3 tables: customer master, item master, order master. Suppose you are going for a supermarket and buying some items. Okay, and you finally the bill is being generated for the items you have bought. Now in their software they will be maintaining different tables for different things. Like for customer information they are maintaining one table, for items they are maintaining another table, and for order they are maintaining another table. But actually what is needed for the user? He wants only the bill details, that is the quantity and the price for the items which he has purchased. Now if I am trying to show the different tables to the user and I am telling that these are all the bills that has been generated, you can take a look at it. So what will the customer feel? So the customer will definitely get confusion and he don't know what is actually he purchased. So because he is a common user, he may not be a technical person. So it is always good if we customize the information into a new table. Like order ID, I have taken order ID and customer ID and I have put it in the view table. Then I have chosen the name attribute from customer master, then item ID from again order master, item name from item master, then quantity prices from order master. So I have selected different attributes from these 3 tables and I have presented into a new form, and this is what we call it as a view. Hope you got some understanding about what is a view. Now let us see how to create views in SQL and how to manipulate informations in a view. Now there are different possible operations in view definition. So this is a database. From database, what and all operation I am going to do in order to generate my view. So I can filter the records using the where clause. I can select different columns from a single table. I can summarize the results using the group by class, and also I can select columns from multiple tables using join operations. So these are all the operations which are possible with the view definition in order to generate a view for the user. So how the view will be stored? A view is stored as a select statement in the database, that is a display statement in the database. And once a view is created, you can perform different DML operations. DML means data manipulation language operations, like insert, update and delete to a view. But when we perform these operations, it will affect the data in the original table from which we have generated the view. Now, when we want to use a view means, whenever we want to hide the complexity of the underlying database schema, or whenever we want to create a customization table from the database, we can use view. Second is, if you want to control the access to the data or rows and columns of some sensitive information against a particular user, you can create a view. That is, you can just take and give the essential information to the user so that the user no need to go and operate the tables which contain sensitive information. So these are the two situations where you will be using a view. A view is defined using a create view statement. So the syntax is create view v. V is the name of the view as query expression. Already you know query means it is a SQL statement like select from where statement. So where query expression is any legal SQL expression and the view name is represented by v. Now these are the possible syntax with a view. You can create a view, you can update a view, or you can delete a view. So how to create a view? Create view, view name. View name can be any name like how you have created for a table name or database name. So create view, view name as select column list from table list where expression. So selecting different columns or attributes from different table which satisfies a given condition. So this is how a create view works. Now once the view has been created, you can do some modification to the view structure using update statement. So that is done by create or replace view, view name as select column list from table list where expression. Then coming to the drop. So view once the work of the view is over, you can drop the structure of the view like drop view, view name. So it will just delete the view structure from the database. So let us see these concepts with the help of an example. So here is a student table. So in the student table you have 4 attributes like roll number, name, department and year. Now I am going to create 2 views with the help of this table. So first view is create view V1 as select roll number, department from student. So when I execute the first statement, I will get the output like this. So I have chosen roll number and department from student and I am creating a view like this. My second view is create view V2 as select name, department and year from the student. On executing this query, I will get the output like this. So this is the second view. So some users may be interested in this structure alone, that is they only want the roll number and department of the student. And some users they may be in need of these three details like name, department and year. So whatever the user wants I can provide with the help of view. Now let us see in depth how the view works. So there are 2 tables, student details and mark details, student marks. So student details contain information like student ID, name and address, whereas student marks contain information like ID, name, marks and age. Now I am going to create a view called details view, that is my view name is details view as select name address from student details where student ID is less than 5. So when I execute this statement, what happens? I want to display the name and address from the student details where my student ID is less than 5 means the first 4 entries of the student details table will be displayed as a view statement. Shall we see it? So after creating the view, I am just displaying the view, select star from details view. So this is how my output looks like. So name and address of the table comes here. Now let us see another situation. Now I am going to create a view called student names by selecting student ID, name from student details, order by name. So when I execute this query, so here my name will be there and the student ID and name both will be displayed. So here you can see the difference. The student ID is shuffled here, but the names are in alphabetical order. Can you see it? Yes. So because I have given order by name means the details will be displayed according to the alphabetical order of the names. Suppose if I have given order by student ID means the student ID will be arranged in ascending order. So whatever attribute I am mentioning before after order, it will display according to the details. Next, create view, marks view. So this is the third query. I am going to create another view called marks view as select student details dot name, student details dot address, that is I'm going to choose the attributes or column from student details table. That's why I mentioned here like this is student detail is the table name and name is the attribute name. Okay. Student details dot name, student details dot address. So I have chosen two fields from student details, namely name and address. Then student marks dot marks. So I am choosing the marks attribute from the student marks table. So I have chosen the attributes from the relation from student details comma student marks, where student details dot name should be equal to student marks dot name. So I will display the table for your understanding. So here what I have chosen is from student details I have chosen name and address, and from student mark I have chosen as marks. So here you can see the name attribute from student details table and name attribute of student mark detail both are same. So here Harsh, and so what I am choosing is both, that is the name of both the tables should be same, and for that field I have to display the name, address and marks. So which records are matching? First one Harsh is matching, then Pratik is matching, Dhanraj is matching and Ram is matching, right? So totally 4 fields are matching. So for these 4 fields, I am going to display the name, address and marks from both the table. Let us see the output here. So this is the query. So the view name is marks view. As I have told you, I have chosen name, address and marks for the fields which matches the name. So is it right? So I have told you there are 4 records which are matching with each other. For the 4 records, the name, address and marks are displayed in marks view. Is it clear? Now we have seen how to create the views. These are all the examples for creating the views. Now once I have created a view, I can update the view. Let us see how I can update. Now this is again I am taking student details table, then student marks detail, and this is the marks view, that is the new table, new view which I have created with the help of the student details and student marks. Now I am going to create, that is going to update the marks view table like this. So create or replace view marks view as select student details dot name, student details dot address, student marks dot marks, student marks dot age. So what I am doing here, from this student details table I am choosing name and address, and from student mark details I am choosing marks and age. So here 2 attributes I am choosing, and in student marks I am choosing 2 attributes. Okay. So from student details comma student marks, where student detail dot name equal to student marks dot name. So here I am setting the condition like, so these are all the fields I am choosing, where my student detail dot name, that is name, should be equal to student marks dot name. So again 4 attributes I will get. So this is the select query from marks, that is simply I am displaying the details from the marks view statement along with the age. Can you see the difference? So this is the mark view which I have created previously with a name, address and marks, but after executing this query I have updated or added one column called age. Is it clear? This is how we can update or modify the view query. Okay, so I hope you got some good understanding about what is view and how to create or modify a view. Let us see what are all the different types of views. There are 4 types: simple view, complex view, inline view and materialized view. In simple view means it is a view which is based on only one table or a single table which does not contain any group by class or any functions. So simply selecting the attributes from the table and displaying is a simple view. In complex view, we will apply some group by function or some other aggregate function to one of the attributes, and then we will check those attributes against certain condition and then we will display it. So such kind of views are called complex view. Inline view means, so in the previous class we have studied about nested subqueries, right? So from the subquery we will try to create a view instead of the actual query. So a view which is based on the subquery from the from class. That subquery, it will create a temporary table and simplifies the complex query. This query, this kind of view is called inline view. Last one is materialized view, which means it will store the select statement in the database. That is, it will retrieve the data from the select statement and store it directly in a physical location in a database. So this is what materialized view. So here the view that stores the definition as well as the data. Normally view will just store only the definition, not the data, but materialized view, it will retrieve the data and also store the data. So it will create replicas of data by storing it physically. So let us see how a simple view looks like. So this is an employee table with employee ID, employee name, department ID and salary as an attribute. Now I am going to create a view called employee view by selecting my employee ID, employee name from this table where my department ID is equal to 2. It is a very simple query. So I am just selecting the attributes only from the employee table matching department ID equal to 2. So my output looks like this. Employee view is the view name. I am choosing only employee ID and employee name where my department ID equal to 2. So wherever department ID is equal to 2 with employee ID 1001 and employee ID 1004 and employee ID 1005. Yes. So only 3 entries are matching the condition department ID equal to 2. So this is a simple view. Now complex view means, as I have already told you, I will apply some aggregate function and group by function to the attributes. So in employee table, I am creating a view called employee view by selecting the department ID and salary. That too I am choosing average of the salary. So from the employee relation, grouping by department ID. So whenever I use group by department ID, I will arrange it in the ascending order, and along with that ascending order I will display the average of the salary. So if you take department ID is 1, how many entries are there? 1. There are 2 entries. So 2 entries with the amount 3500 and 2500. When I apply average to these two values, I am getting 3000 as the amount. Similarly, for the department ID 2, how many entries are there? 1, 2 and 3. There are 3 entries are there. And what is the salary for that department ID? One is 4000, another one is 5000, another one is 3000. So when I apply average to this, I am getting the value as 4000. Similarly, for department ID 3, there are 2 entries are there. The salary is 4500 and 3500. So when I apply the average function, I am getting it as 4250. So here I have displayed the average of the salary as well, and also I have grouped the details with respect to department ID. So this is my complex view. Next, coming to inline view. Inline view is nothing but it is a select statement in the from class of another select statement. So to create a temporary table. Okay, so it is simply to say inline view is a view which is created from a nested subquery. We can simply say like that. So the statement is select column names from subquery where row number is less than or equal to n. So this is a predicate. And where we will use inline views means for writing complex SQL queries without the help of joins or subqueries. So in that case we will use the inline views. Now in inline views it is also possible to expand the view. That is, not only you can create a view from a subquery, you can create a view from another view also. Let us see how we can create. So it is called view expansion. We can expand the use of a view in a query or in another view. So take for example, this is a table which contains flight supervisor details. So I am going to create a view as select star from flight supervisor. So the entire attributes of this table is created as a view, that is named as V1. Second, I am going to create a view called V2 as select employee ID, hometown, flight number, job category from V1. So you should understand one thing, I am selecting these attributes from the view which I have created, that is from V1, but not from the supervisor table. Okay, so this is one expansion. V2 has been created from V1. Now create V3 as select employee ID, job category from V2. So in V2 I have displayed 4 attributes like employee ID, hometown, flight number and job category. So among these 4 attributes, again I am creating a new view where I am going to display employee ID and job category. This is from V2. So this is called view expansion. From one view I am creating another view, and from the second view I am creating another view. Likewise it goes like a chain. Now views can be defined using other views like this. So one view may be used in the expression defining another view, and a view relation is said to be depend directly on another view relation if the second view relation is used in the expression defining the first view. Second thing, a view relation is said to depend on a view relation if there is a dependency path from V1 to V2, and a view relation is said to be recursive if it depends on itself. So when a view depends on another view, there are two things. One is depend directly and depend on. When a view depends on itself, it is said to be recursive. Coming to the materialized view. A materialized view, it replicates the retrieved data physically. So what happens? The replicated data can be reused without executing the view again. So this type we call it a snapshot, and it will reduce the processing time to regenerate the whole data. So it is something like a cache memory we can say for understanding. So whatever details we have collected, we will put it in the cache memory. So from there we can easily retrieve it. No need to go back to the database again for each and every time. So it will just reduce the time consumption. The same thing happens with the materialized view also. So but the challenging part is here is you have to synchronize the changes in the materialized views underlying tables. That is, from whichever table you have collected the data, whenever the changes occurs in that table, you have to update the changes in the materialized view also. Suppose if you fail to update your materialized view, it will become obsolete. So if relations used in the query are updated, the materialized view result becomes out of date. So that is what my point. So we have to maintain the view by updating the view whenever the underlying relations are updated. So let us see how the materialized view looks like. So this is again an employee, the same employee table from which I am going to create a view called employee view by selecting all the attributes from employee which matches my department ID as 2. So I have got my view like this, and I am going to store all these details physically in a memory in the database. So it creates a data dictionary. So whenever the table employee is updated, my employee view also should get updated. So what is the difference between a view and a materialized view? View is a logical structure, materialized view is also a logical structure, but the difference is that, so here the retrieved data, it will not be stored physically in a database, but in materialized view the retrieved data is physically stored in the database. So in view the data access is slower when compared to the materialized view, it is faster. Views are generally used to restrict data from the database, whereas materialized views are used in the data warehousing. So till now we have seen about a complete view about the views. So I hope you got some better understanding about views. If you have any queries, let us have a discussion in the discussion forum or in the class. Next topic is integrity constraints. So, integrity constraint means to ensure the accuracy and consistency of the data in the database. Already we have seen some integrity constraint in the previous classes. Let us have a look back on it. So, the different types are default, check, not null, unique, primary and referential integrity. So, the default constraint, it helps to specify a default value to the record in a column if we are not specifying the data explicitly. Okay. Check constraint, it will check whether the attribute it satisfies a given predicate. Not null means it will always ensure that the column value of a given attribute is not null. Unique means the column value of the given attribute or the row value or column value, it should not contain any, that is, it should be unique. There is no duplication entries in the table. Primary key constraint, it is a combination of both not null constraint and unique constraint. That is, whichever attribute has been chosen as primary key, it should be unique and it should not contain null values. Foreign key constraint, it is used to establish a child-parent relationship. That is, whenever an attribute in one table refers to the primary key of another table, that table we call it as, that key we call it as foreign key. So, the foreign key, it should not enter any wrong information for which there is no reference in the primary key. This we call it as foreign key constraint or referential integrity constraint. So, this is the syntax for using the constraint. Create table, table name. Column 1, data type, size, followed by the constraint name. So, at the end of the data type, for each column name, you can mention the constraint name. So, let us see how the constraints, different constraints work. So, here the default SQL constraint, it is used to provide some default values for the fields which you are not mentioning explicitly. Example, I am creating a table called student with 3 attributes, ID, name and age. ID is in the data type integer, ID is a primary key, so it should not be null, so not null, and name, it I have declared in a varchar data type, so again I am mentioning it as not null. Then age by default is 18. Suppose if I am not mentioning age value explicitly, it will defaultly place my value as 18. Now let us see another example. So here in this example, it is a default table with 4 attributes like ID, name, phone and company. Suppose if company name we are not mentioning, it will directly defaultly it will print as prepend star. Check constraint means it will check whether the particular attribute or the field or record, it satisfies the given condition. Example, I am creating a table called T1 with attributes called employee number, employee name and salary. So, employee number is the primary key and employee name followed by salary. In the salary, I am that is having a check constraint where I am checking whether my salary is greater than 5,000. So, this is one example. Coming to another example, in this table you can see, so there are 4 attributes. So, where I am putting the check constraint to the age attribute, that is I am going to enter the details only if my age is greater than or equal to 18. If my age is less than 18, it will restrict the entry, that is it will not allow the user to enter the details to the table. So, this is how check constraint works. Not null constraint means the column it cannot be null, it cannot contain null values. Say for example, the same example T1 table, I am setting employee number as a primary key. So, the primary key should not be null. So, I am putting not null constraint at the end of the data type. Also, I am putting not null constraint to the employee name attribute as well. And here in this example, you can see ID is the primary key. So, the primary key it should not be null. So, that is here you can see the primary key value, it only does not contain null values, whereas the null values are permitted in the remaining attributes. Unique constraint means the column, it cannot contain duplicate values. So, the primary key attribute employee number, I have given the unique constraint. Okay. So, similarly here ID is a primary key, it does not contain any duplicate values, whereas the remaining attributes can contain duplicate values. Primary key constraint. So, here we have seen the unique constraint and not null constraint separately. Primary key constraint is a combination of both not null and unique constraint. So, whichever attribute you are choosing as a primary key, that primary key should not contain any duplicate values and should not contain any null values. So, both the constraints are applicable for your primary key attribute. Say ID, it will not contain any null value and also it does not contain any duplicate values. And again we have seen primary referential integrity constraint or foreign key constraint. So, one key is a primary key, another key is a foreign key. That foreign key will be a primary key for some other table. So, with example, let us understand student is one table, course is another table. In student, roll number is the primary key, whereas in course ID is the primary key. But this course ID, it is used in the student table for referring the course. So, the course ID in the student table is called as a foreign key. So, I cannot update the course ID value without the knowledge of primary key of the course. For example, in primary key of the course contain two key values 78 and 56. So, except 78 and 56, none other value I can insert into the student table. If I try to insert some other value like 60, then it will show me the error. So, such errors can be avoided by using this referential integrity constraint. The last topic for today's class is assertions. What I mean by assertion? An assertion is nothing but it is a statement in an SQL which will always ensure that certain condition will exist in the databases, and it is not like a column or table constraint like we have seen now, default, check. So, all these constraints are applicable within a table, but assertion, it is something like views. So, how we are creating a separate SQL statement for views, we will also create a separate SQL statement for assertion. It will always check for a condition whether it is satisfied in the database or not. So, it is checked only whenever an update or insert actions is performed. It will not work for the create table statements. So, whenever we are performing some updations or insertion into a table in the database, the assertion concept works. And the query for assertion is create assertion name, check predicate. And for example, let us consider the sum of sailors and boats should be smaller than 100, where sailor and boat are two different tables. That is, we have two relations. Sailor is one relation, boat is another relation. But our condition is always whenever we are updating these tables, the sum of sailors and sum of boats should be always smaller than 100. So, this is the predicate. So, the query for assertion is we are creating an assertion with a name called small club and checking for the predicate, select count of sailor ID from sailor plus select count of boat ID from boat which is less than 100. So, another example, so customer is one relation with attributes customer name, customer street and customer city. My constraint is my customer city should not be null. So, I can enforce this constraint with the help of assertion like create assertion city check. Okay, city check is the name of the assertion. Then I am checking the predicate that not exist of select star from customer where customer city is null. That is, select star from customer where customer city is null means I am choosing the attributes, all the attributes from the customer whichever is having null value. Then I am applying the constraint called check not exist. So these fields should not exist. That is, the attributes with null value should not exist. That is my point. So that condition I am checking later. So this is how assertion works. Okay, so let us come to the conclusion part of today's class. So what are all the concepts we have seen? I have presented in a mind map. So the concept which we have seen is about an intermediate SQL operations. The basic SQL operations we have seen in the previous class. This is an intermediate SQL operation. So where we have seen about views, integrity constraints and assertion. In views we have seen about what is a simple view. A simple view is nothing but a view which is generated from a single table without applying any function. Complex view means again it is a select statement from a single table by applying some aggregate function or group by class. Inline view means a view which is generated from a subquery, and it is also possible for expanding a view from one query or from one view. That is, from one view you can create another view, and from another view you can create some other view. It goes like a chain. And materialized view means it is also something like a view, but here we will retrieve the data and store it in a physical location. So whenever the underlying table from which the view is generated is updated, your materialized view also need to be updated. Then integrity constraint. So default means it will replace the unentered information with the default values. Check constraint means it will always check for the attribute or record for some predicate, whether it satisfies the given condition or not. Not null means the entries of the attributes, it should not be null, and the entries of the attributes should contain unique values, which means there should not be any duplicate values present in the table. If any duplicacy or null values are there, it will give a warning message like you have entered a duplicate value or the entry is null, please enter the correct value. Likewise, some warning messages will be displayed. Primary key constraint is a combination of not null and check constraint. And at last, foreign key constraint. Foreign key constraint is nothing but it will provide a child-parent relationship. Assertion is nothing but it is an SQL statement which always ensures that there are some condition in the database whether it is satisfied or not. Like view statement, we also have an SQL statement for the assertion. So coming to the summary part, the same thing whatever we have discussed in the mind map, I have given in the textual form. So views, integrity constraints and assertions. So these are all the points which we have seen in today's class. Thank you for the session.